Voting is underway in Moldova as citizens decide on European Union accession and elect their new president. Moldovans are voting in a constitutional referendum that could change the long-term future of their country. Citizens are being asked whether they support an amendment of the constitution with a view to accession to the European Union after the process was formally opened last June. At the same time, Moldova is electing its president, with the incumbent Maia Sandu leading the polls. By 1 p.m, turnout for the presidential election was at 25.6%, higher than in 2020. President Sandu voted in Chisinau, where a number of citizens gathered at the polling station chanting "Moldova, let's vote."
Turnout must be over 33% for the referendum to be considered valid, and 50% plus one of the responses must be a yes for the constitution to be amended. The vote of Moldovans living abroad can be crucial. Vincenzo Genovese, Euronews, Chisinau.
Ukraine says it struck an explosives plant and airfield in Russia in an overnight assault which saw more than 100 drones launched over Russia's western regions. The Russian Ministry of Defense says 110 drones were destroyed, 43 of which were shot down over the border region of Kursk. The governor of the city of Zhurinsk in Russia's Nizhny Novgorod region wrote on social media that 4 firefighters were injured repelling a drone attack over the city's industrial zone, but did not give further details. It comes as a Russian strike on the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia left 10 local residents wounded on Saturday evening, according to the national police. The strike partially destroyed a residential building and damaged shops, a car wash, a shopping centre warehouse and various vehicles. Red and orange weather alerts are in place across Italy as heavy rainfall causes flash flooding throughout the country. The region of Emilia-Romagna has so far been the worst hit, with 1 person killed after a car was swept away by a flood wave in the town of Pianoro near Bologna. Tuscany's River Elsa and Sicily's River Salso have both burst their banks, and residents in both areas have been advised to avoid non-essential travel. Weather warnings are expected to remain in place until Tuesday. Meanwhile, in central France, severe flooding has caused widespread damage and power outages. Many residents have returned to find their homes destroyed. On Friday, French Prime Minister Michel Barnier said that firefighters and other rescuers have been involved in roughly 2,300 operations so far.
G7 defence ministers have expressed their concern for the safety of UN peacekeepers in Lebanon as the security situation continues to deteriorate. In a joint statement after their first meeting in Naples, the ministers said that the protection of peacekeepers is incumbent upon all parties to a conflict. UNIFIL was established by the Security Council in 1978 to restore security in southern Lebanon. It comprises 10,000 peacekeepers from 50 countries, including 16 EU nations, and regularly patrols the UN-drawn border between Lebanon and Israel. On Friday, UNIFIL said it was maintaining its positions despite warnings from the IDF to move away. Earlier this month, UNIFIL said an Israeli tank fired on its headquarters in Nakura, knocking down an observation tower and injuring 2 peacekeepers. Israel has accused UNIFIL of being ineffective in halting Hezbollah's military activities.
Kenyan athletes have recorded a double triumph at the first edition of the Rome Half Marathon, which took place on Sunday morning on the central streets of Italy's capital. 19-year-old Emmanuel Wafula dominated the men's race after reaching the 10 kilometers mark in 28 minutes 14 seconds. In the women's race, Nancy Sang won with a personal best for the distance. Over 17,000 participants registered for the race along historic landmarks in Rome.